Hi. I'm doing this in this format rather than in stories because I kind of wanted to stay with my eye bags and everything. Talking about the library and why I was fired. I have the letter right here. Got my notes from the meeting. Croissant is deciding to drink a lot of water right now and cry. And yeah, last night I ate a whole ass pizza while watching the debate. Had some drink and ordered way too much bubble tea, but it's my favorite, so it's okay. And I woke up and I ate chocolate cake for breakfast. That's where we're at right now. And that's okay, because it's been less than 24 hours and it's okay. So, let's talk about this. I was on probation for the job, and their probation is 1 year. I have heard of 3-month probations, 6-month probations, but never a year. And I had just passed my 6-month mark on September 4th. It's currently September 11th. Never forget. So I had just passed my 6-month mark. I had a feeling I was not going to pass my trial period, as they call it, instead of probation, because I was very vocal about things that I saw that were racist within the system, and things that were homophobic and transphobic, especially when the anti-trans group wanted to meet at our library and how they treated our trans and non-binary staff. And it is difficult for me to kind of encompass this as as succinctly as possible. Basically, this letter says, MCL uses an initial 1-year trial service period, probation, as a time to evaluate a new employee's performance on the job. You are hired as an LA on March 4th. Based on our evaluation of your performance during the trial service period, we determined that your continued employment with us is no longer in Multnomah County's best interest. This is my last day. We regret this employment relation did not work out and wish you well in the future, whatever. So, in the actual letter, there is no reason for why I was fired. But they don't need one because it's probation. However, in our meeting, we talked. And it's the same shit that I have posted for 6 months. None of which were remedied. None of my concerns were remedied. My attempts to improve on what was lacking or what needed change was not specified. There's no measure improvement. No, like, hey, do this by this time. There were no action steps and no ways of improvement. And these are not things that are like, oh, you had to shelve 5 carts, but you only shelved 3. It's not like that kind of math. It's very much dumb. So one of which is personnel rules. Well, these are all under personnel rules, apparently. Employee responsibilities. Apparently, I don't know how to do my job, even though I have a degree and a certificate that says I can do above my pay grade. So apparently, I just didn't hear someone behind me one time, and that was on the thing, in the note that I got in this meeting. There was a time, actually, that was not even specified. It was specified in the meetings before. I asked for specific evidence of each of these prongs in yesterday's meeting, and I got none. Whatever I'm citing is shit that I'm citing from other meetings. they gave me no evidence for anything. Yeah, and then I guess I tried to arrange the board books as they just literally just throw them there depending on like the language, and that's it. There's no rhyme or reason. And maybe that is the best way, but I thought that there's another better way to be helpful, and they didn't like that, and I was like, all right, so I'm gonna change it back. And apparently that was just like such a huge thing. And it's not like I took them out of their already their spot already. Like it was still all like there. They were still in their language spot. So I don't whatever. And then oh yeah, the people calling me aggressive or scary. That was not cited in yesterday's meeting. But it was apparently keeping a professional and respectful workplace, and that I had negative impacts on my colleagues and interfered with their work because I talked about non-library things. Bitch, what the fuck do you think we do when we're on desk and nothing is happening? Hey, how was your weekend? Oh, yeah? Oh, that's cool. Oh, your partner what? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, you're getting married? Cool. Fantastic. Great. All of that is non-library related things, and everyone does it, so you can kindly fuck right off with that. Yeah, I asked for citations and evidence of this negative feedback that they apparently had from multiple staff members and patrons, and everyone else involved, witnesses. They used the term witnesses. Like, I don't know. Like, they had like, oh, we have a list of dates and times, and I was like, can I have that? And they're like, no. Even redacted names, no. And I'm like, because it doesn't exist. Okay? Like, I don't understand. And I was like, yeah, I've been lucky enough to form friendships with some of these people, and we talk about our other interests and things like that, and yeah, apparently I talk about non-related things and my personal circumstances which negatively affected other people. Bruh, shut the fuck up. You make no sense. And I was ambushed. I did not know this meeting was happening until like the regional manager who works at our branch dragged me upstairs. I didn't get to go to my next desk or anything, and so I didn't have a chance to have a union member who I wanted to be there. They put in a union member who tried to help but was very hands off, and I guess a union member from this person's side. I have no idea, but they're like, oh, we're not here to challenge or debate this. This is a thing, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just tell you everything then. And I mentioned that Multnomah County Library, just the library, not Multnomah County, Multnomah County Library has 5 racial discrimination cases within it going on right now in court. 5. And that is for a reason. There have been BIPOC staff, queer staff, who told me, oh no, yeah, one of my managers told me that I had to change the way that I talk, change the way that I act, change who I am, and I was told all three of those things as well. And what it confuses me is they know damn well I'm from New York. My entire resume is from the Bronx. So, not sure what they thought about that there. But they just have no evidence or anything. I knew that this was going to be a problem because people were telling me, like, oh, you might want to wait till after your probation to talk about racism in the system. I'm like, no, as a person of color, I'm going to talk about racism now, because we have DEI and, all these equity meetings, staff meetings, for shit, okay, because they mean shit. They are for optics. They are so that they can put them on the calendar and say, hey, look, we did that. And at the same time, they are making BIPOC and queer staff feel uncomfortable because we are apparently making white staff feel uncomfortable. And oh no, that is really bad. But our discomfort doesn't matter. I was told that must be hard. And other people have been told that too. And I've been told to change the way that I talk, change the way that I act, change the way who I am. And no, I'm not going to, okay? You can't take the New York out of me. It's not like that. I lived there for, I lived in the East Coast for 32 years. The fuck? So, no. I am who I am. And you hired me for this job. And I will be me. So, whatever, all this, anti everything, and just trying to make us white, trying to make us, but, the optics looks great because, we hire based on, we have a Black cultural competency, what they call KSA, so like a special grade, you get paid a little bit more to be in this Black cultural competency position. We have that. We have bilingual Spanish staff, Chinese, which they don't actually specify Mandarin or Cantonese, because Chinese is not a language. And they have that. But and that's great, and having that incentive to have bilingual people, but also, why are a lot of your bilingual Spanish staff white? And they hire they're like, oh, we hired all these diverse people and whatever, our percentages, here's a fucking pie chart or whatever, and cool, the optics look great, but how do you treat us? That's not in the pie chart, okay? No. And I was only there for 6 months. There are people who have been there for over a decade and can tell fucking novels. Well, not novels because it's not fake. So, fucking just books of all the racism and homophobia that is deep in this system. Why? Because Portland is created on white supremacy. Okay? We can't forget that. That is why they are overcompensating by having these very specific Black cultural competency, indigenous groups, to label them and to make sure everyone knows, hey, this is a Black person. Hey, this is an indigenous person. And it's great that these people are here. I love it. Their collections, yeah, they should be great indigenous librarians, great BCC librarians, awesome. They get the pay grade, awesome. But you can't just point at them as percentages and as numbers and call it done. Okay? You fucking treat them right and you let them be who they are. Don't try to silence them when they say, hey, this is a little fucking racist. Or when they see the list of shit that happens every fucking day that we're supposed to read, and I always notice that black people and people of color and unhoused people get the most exclusions, and the longer exclusions. And I was told, oh, well, you don't know the relationships between them. You don't know, their previous offenses, things like that. You can look all that up in the system, okay? And I have. And I've pointed it out. And you know what? Safety coordinator fucking agreed with me and was like, yes, let me know your opinions about all of this shit. The successful use of the library, okay, that phrase is bullshit. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It means I went to the library because I wanted to know about butterflies, but I couldn't find a book about butterflies, and I was unsuccessful. Okay? What you're looking for is the word inappropriate. And an inappropriate use of the library is bringing drug paraphernalia. Okay? Yeah, cool. Fighting, yeah, causing disruptions, looking at things that should not be looking at in public space. Locking yourself in the bathroom, things like that. Yeah, cool, great. But don't use that phrase. It's just demeaning. Instead of being punitive, why don't you help your community? This is your community that you're in, whether you like it or not. You are a central location. That's why you are called Central Library. Why don't you help your unhoused population? Why don't you help the substance abuse victims of substance abuse users, and help them, connect them with resources? I know it's fucking hard, and we're a library, not a social service kind of thing, but you also have a social service department, like right at the entrance, so you might want to beef that up. I know it's through a third party, but that sucks because I've worked for them too, so you might want to make sure that there's more than 2 of them there, social workers, so that they can help the community instead of you just throwing people out and just willy-nilly making it so. It really sucks. I was told that if this is what I think happened to me, I should get an employment lawyer. Here's what the person from the union, who I did not ask to be here, here's what they said: to get an employment lawyer, and then they can get the public records of my emails. Because I asked, can I just print my emails before I go, or can I just grab my emails? And they're like, no, and they shut down my account. While I was still in the building, they shut it down because they knew I was going to export that shit. Because they knew that was evidence of their lack of evidence. So, yeah, it's really hard to prove racism because you need to improve racist intent. And that's really hard to do. White people don't really understand that, or they do understand that and they'll weaponize it. And that's what's happening. So I am getting my paycheck of the days that I've worked, vacation and holiday, which are maybe combined a week, and all the sick time, over 2 weeks of sick time that I have accumulated, I do not get paid for. So Sunday, when I should, I had vertigo and then had to take a couple hours to not get that because I had a medication change, and I went back because I knew Sunday was very low staff and they needed me. So me being a team player was like, all right, I'm ready, and I was ready to go to the library. I should just fucking taken the day off. I should just take fucking 2 weeks off, and before they fire me, hey, so all that time I don't get that time. That time that I saved for friends. I mean, that was the only time I did take sick time. I took a couple days, for friends to come, for loved ones to come, visit, that I have saved. Nope. No. No. And so that pissed me off. But no. In this meeting yesterday, I did mention those 5 cases of racial discrimination. They said, that has nothing to do with us right now. I'm like, yeah, sure. It does. You know why? It shows a fucking pattern. It shows a pattern. And I want this library system to be better, to do better. And that is why I'm going to fucking tag them in this, so that they know. And, you know, not keep having all these racial discrimination cases, because they're like, white staff are very fragile, and no. Let us embrace our culture, even the ones who are not labeled Black cultural competency. Let Black staff be Black staff. Like, there are so many who are not under that pay grade and deserve the same respect. And all BIPOC staff, all queer staff, let them be who they are, because you fucking hired them, so you should fucking know who they are. And it's sad. It's sad because I had to pack all my shit up, and I just wanted to say goodbye to people. They didn't let me say goodbye to people. I did it anyway. What the fuck am I gonna do? So, you know, I told people around who were around in my cube and saw my shit, and they're like, oh God. And I'm like, yeah. And I was crying, and they gave me hugs. They wished me well. Some of us exchanged contact info. My coach, I made sure I said goodbye to her, said thank you so much for your help. She was upset. People were upset. I was escorted out of the building with bags of my shit, and I had no idea how to carry it all home. And people came outside to come see me, to comfort me, and to be there and to say goodbye, or give me their contact info. And you know what? That means I did have good relationships with my staff. Maybe not everyone. Not everyone's gonna like you. And not everyone is going to, you know, like me. I'm not gonna like everybody. That's fine. But the number of people who actually did come out to text me, to physically say goodbye, to exchange contact info, thank you so much, I love you, and that was very sweet. And they were upset. They were upset because they knew exactly why I got fired. They knew exactly why. It wasn't because I'm incapable of doing my job. It's because I can do my job, and I can do more than my job. And I'm also not afraid to say this is sus. This is racist. This is homophobic. I left like a bunch of shit at my cube, but I left the copy of my degree, my certificate that we copied because I had an inside joke with someone. So they're copies, not the real thing. They're copies, and I put a post-it, a large post-it on it that said, pretty sure I'm qualified. And on the wall of my cube on the outside, there where I took everything down, I put a post-it, the giant post-it again. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't. I mean, if you want to keep your job, I get it. I get it. Be you. And I don't know. You know, I don't know where this is going, and I don't know what to do. And it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. But thank you to the people who made this special, and to make this a fun time on days that were not fun. But people who made me smile, people who made me laugh, people I could talk to about this shit. I talk shit about Portland a lot, and I will continue to fucking do so. But I love that I came away with some people who I will actually miss. Thank you so much for what you did and what you are doing for BIPOC and queer staff, as an ally, as one of them, and to continue to speak up. Because fuck white supremacy. It runs deep. Real deep. And if the library wants to be better, they can. If they want to do better, they can. But if all they want to care about is optics, looks pretty good to them. But inside, it's like we're bleeding.